Hello everybody, I'm Chris Bottger and welcome back to another album review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Crushed Skeleton's debut studio album, 1986's Scrooge Dreams. This album is sometimes considered an early example of the pop-punk genre, although it's still on the more punk end of things. I personally consider it more on the punk side of things, as it hews closer to the Sex Pistols as opposed to sounding something like Green Day. Now, I'm going to jump right into it and go through the album song by song, and then give my thoughts on the album as a whole. Starting off the album, we have the track Plastic Punks. This is a self-aware bit about the band being pop-punk. It's more or less a mission statement from the band about being both mainstream and punk simultaneously, but it's also kind of a bit of a parody of pop music as well. Musically, this song is a bit of a mashup of 70s style pop / easy listening and of course punk. Think Barry Manilow meets the Sex Pistols. The bits with the flugelhorn are admittedly a bit silly, but it works well for the theme of the song. The rest of the playing here is pretty standard, unpolished punk playing, and it does its job pretty well here. The next track, Drive Vanille, is more of a standard punk song. The lyrics are an attempt at religious imagery about the crucifixion, but it is self-aggrandizing and doesn't really work in my opinion. The playing here is just standard punk playing. Most of the album's backings sound very similar, so there isn't a huge amount to comment on with each one, it's just standard punk playing, rather unpolished. The next song, Endless Platitudes, is about how the single grows tired of what he views as non-stop propaganda. During the chorus, the single babbles off a bunch of soporific nonsense. It's a bit of a mouthful to sing along to, but I think it gets the point of the song across. Also, it is rather fun in the sheer ridiculousness of the lyrics. Garbage Truck is a dystopian song about, government oppression or something. The titular government is supposed to be some sort of metaphor for, the establishment getting rid of people they don't like. Now, this could apply to things like deportations, or also stuff like media censorship. Garbage Truck does have a good degree of applicability to it, but it is also a bit cumbersome in the way it conveys its message, if you ask me. Starting off side 2 is Milk Carton. This is a song from the point of view of a kidnapped victim. While I do think Crushed Skeleton had good intentions with this song, I do think at some point it does become a bit gratuitous. I could do without a lot of the descriptions of some of the stuff that happened to the narrator. It's, not necessarily a bad song, but it does kind of veer into being unpleasant and kind of gross to listen to. The next song is Stained Armchair. Yeah, I think you can guess what this one's about. I'm not sure I can really say, but it's a vulgar song, as far as I can tell. It only really exists to upset moral guardians. I've got nothing really against vulgarity, and I'm all for upsetting the moral guardians, of course, but there's more to making a good song than shock value. This song has no deep themes to its lyrics, nor does it have anything of merit in its backing other than being a typical punk-sounding song. Torn Cloth is a more optimistic song compared to the other songs on the album. The lyrics focus on a metaphor comparing the single to a piece of cloth that is worse for wear but still round. This is admittedly a rather hollow metaphor, not to mention clunky. The chorus is, though, pretty good, if a bit soporific. The voices are rather dull, however, and there are some bad lines strewn throughout the song. The album ends with the appropriately titled When Will It End? This song is about what crushing skeletons see as the end goal for the punk movement, the end of what they see as government oppression. This song does plod on a bit. It's too long and has a good deal of filler in the form of several subpar drum and guitar solos. Despite this, however, it does work well thematically to bring the album to a natural conclusion. Alright, that's it for the song-by-song breakdown. So now, before we go on to my final thoughts on the album, let's look at my final scores for the songs. I give Plastic Punks 7 out of 10. Drive Vanille 5 out of 10. Endless Platitudes 7 out of 10. Garbage Truck 6 out of 10. Milk Carton 4 out of 10. Stained Armchair 4 out of 10. Torn Cloth 5 out of 10. When Will It End? 5 out of 10. This is a fairly consistent album, but none of the tracks are must-listens. I like the more silly songs like Plastic Punks that are sort of parody of other types of music. Unfortunately, we also have songs that are more serious like Milk Carton. Those types of songs always come across as pretentious and unwieldy. As of the instrumentation, the less said about that, the better. I've never been the biggest punk fan, as a lot of it boils down to a bunch of guys trying to play as unprofessionally as possible. At some point, the songs all start to blend together if they don't have good choruses and or verses. This is Crushed Skeleton's Achilles heel. The songs are kind of bland. Most of them are fun enough while they last, but they have no real staying power for the listener. In the end, Screwed Dreams is a decent enough album to throw on the turntable every now and then, but never really does much to rise above decent. For these reasons, I'm giving the album a 6 out of 10. Alright, and before we go, as usual, I do want to look at the album sleeve. Well, here it is. They tried. I mean, I don't think we could say they didn't try. Actually, I think maybe we could say that, but let's not say that, because that seems a little mean. But it's only an interesting sleeve. Not the best display piece, but I guess it does have some mild novelty value to it, so... yeah, very nice, I guess. Or maybe not. I mean, I've certainly seen much worse than this, so... it does the job. I think it does the job. Alright, and now I have to address the elephant in the room. This album does not exist. April Fools. I thought it would be fun to make up an album to review here for April Fool's Day. Now, before I wind up this video, I do want to say I use no AI-generated content in this video whatsoever. All of this is just me having a bit of fun, and all comes from my imagination. I wrote this all down very quickly, and I've kind of filmed this video together for April Fool's Day. It's kind of an idea I've had for a while, but I just now kind of came up with something, and I just thought it would be kind of funny to just kind of throw a bunch of cliches and weird stuff, and even honestly, like, frequent criticisms I make, maybe even cliches that, or cliches of mine in my other album reviews, you know, into this video, so I thought that'd be kind of cool. Alright, well, before I go, I do want to encourage you, of course, to like and subscribe. That, once again, helps me out a great deal. I've also already reviewed plenty of albums in the past. Please go watch those videos. That would also be very helpful. They're kind of like this one, but except I'm actually talking about a real album. And once again, if you made it here to the end of this video, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you've had a great rest of your day. I really hope you enjoyed whatever the hell this was. And I'll see you in the next video.